Hello thrillers, welcome back to today's tutorial on how to make this beautiful built up neck flare dress as seen on the thumbnail. Okay, to my returning subscribers, it's good to have you back. Thank you for always working with Beyonce Thrills. And to the new subscribers, okay, my name is Uche Beyonce, a Nigerian tailor, and you're welcome on board. Here I have a 3 yards of a Mikado fabric. That's what we're working with. So let's go right to the video. Now I have my pattern paper here. On this extension, what you're going to do first, I have an extension here, and this is 3 inches. I'm going to start measuring from here. Shoulder, this is our shoulder line. The shoulder to the bust of my client is 9.5 inches. You mark it, and we are going to roll that. So this is our bust. And the next thing is our shoulder. To shoulder, my client is 15 inches divided by 2 is 7.5. So I mark it here. And then I'm working with a neck width of 3 inches, so I also mark it here. And this same shoulder to shoulder, I will mark it on this point also, 7.5. This is our armhole, and the armhole circumference is 16.5 divided by 2 is 8.25. I'm going to make it 8.5 here, and we are going to make it a straight line. I'll also rule a line on this. And this is called your chest line, your chest, right? This is your bust. On the shoulder line, because our shoulder is slant, we are coming down by 1 inch here, and we'll connect it to this neck. And so the bust circumference of my client is 35 inches divided by 4. I have 8.75, sorry. I'm marking it on both on the chest line and on the bust. Then I'm adding 0.75 for ease, because then 1 inch sewing allowance. So I'm just linking it up straight. Then on the armhole, I'm dividing from here to here, finding the midpoint here. From that midpoint, you go in by 1/2 inch. So this now is the armhole for the front. The front is inwards by 0.5. But this here is the armhole for the back. And I already have my back here. So now let's move over to the neckline. For the front, this is the front. I want the build up collar to be 2.5 inches. What we are going to do first is from here, we go outward, inwards by 0.5. Then from here, we come in by 0.5 also. You'll see the reason for this later. Then from this point, you go up by whatever length you want your built up neckline to be. For me, I said 2.5. So my 2.5 is here. Then I'll draw it up. Now from this point, I'm going to go outwards by 1 inch only. This is just to create a curve, a perfect curve for the front. So this is my 1 inch. Now I'm going to connect this with a curve up to the 0 point. We went outwards by 0.5. And then the next thing is, if we're coming down by 7.5 inches or 8 inches. So from here, from the main line, I'm coming down by 7.5 inches over here. So I'm just going to read a curve connecting it to this point. This is our front. We're not using this again. For our back, we're also doing almost the same thing, but the back is simpler. What we are doing is just like we did. We came in by 1/2 inch. We went in by 1/2 inch here. So on this place, we are going up by the same 2.5 inches. We have it here. So I'm going to rule a straight line. Then we are creating a curve up to that point there. Just make sure to blend your curve very well. Okay, normally this is what we have. But from here, I just want to come down by 1/2 inch or 0.25. Just a little curve. Or you can decide to leave it that way actually. So, and my brother and my sister, we're done. Then the remaining thing here is just to take the measurement of the back shoulder and that of the front to ensure that they are both together when you are doing the same thing. So okay, I will start from here and measure. Here I have 7.125, 7.125. So I'll also measure that at the front. Okay, so the front is 7.625 and that is 0.5 inch higher than that of the back. So you can decide to make this one to bring it down to the 7.125, which is here, or you can decide to make up the back to suit that of the front by adding half an inch extra on here. So but I want to make this one 7.125. So I've marked it out, and the next thing is for me to blend it into the curve. This is it. This is out. Now you can add your half an inch sewing allowance, half an inch here. So you see, this is it, half an inch sewing allowance, and even on the armhole, I've added. So I'm gonna get to trim this out, as you can see. So this is towards the yard side. I folded it, as you can see, it's on fold here. I folded it, and you can see the length. This is by 60. Then I'm also going to fold it again. You see how I'm folding it? It's not straight, please. That's how you're going to tilt it, please. So the amount you fold depends on the fullness you want to achieve. As you can see, I tilted it this way to create an angle. Okay, now unfold at least what I have here. Let me measure. I have 47. It will now be 47 times 2. Please do the calculation. This part will be my center front, and I'm going to place this here to determine how this would be. For the front, I will leave half an inch here, so that's why I kept it this way. And we are going to take the measurements to know if it will be up to the length I want. So from here, this is built up. So from here, okay, so at least I have 55 inches. I'll just go ahead and trim this out. I'm slashing this part open to separate the front from the back. Now I have my back fastened onto my front. The front is half an inch away. This is half an inch away, so I've pinned it down already. I'll place my pattern paper, and the measure, it will just be on the back. You see, it did not extend to the front one. But the next thing to do is, remember, we already have our allowance here, so I'm just going to curve this out up to the hem. And remember, you're taking consideration of the back side, because sorry, the front behind, because it's shorter than your back if you cut it this way that I did. Then I'll take my measurement. Okay, I actually have 53 inches, then 1 inch as sewing allowance, hemming allowance. And on the side, I'm expecting to have at least of 50 inches. I need it to go up by 3 inches or 2 inches to create a curve. So I have 50 inches here. Then I'm adding 1 inch hemming allowance also. Connect these points. So just trim it out. Okay, now I've got to this point, and this is the front. I want to cut the back first, and what I'm going to do is to place this. This is the back, but I'll place it here. Arrange it properly. It's matching with the back one.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire.
I will take out this back.
We rise like tall buildings. You can actually drag this built-up neckline directly in your fabric without having to use the pattern paper. The pattern paper I used was for another tutorial altogether.
Remember that the neck depth stops here. I'm going to go ahead and trim this side by half an inch. I actually do not have this exact color of linings, but what I have, I shall use. I'll just trim out into shape. I have the lining folded. I'll trim it into shape. Do it for the front, do it for the back also. Now to cut the sleeve, I'm going to take the measurement of the armhole, excluding the allowances. Excluding this, excluding this. I have 8.25 here. In total, I have 17.25. Now for the salvation of time, I already have this folded for the sleeve, and to get how I folded this, I just folded it this way and then like this. So that is what we have here. And then on this side, I've also marked out ½ inch sewing allowance, joining allowance to the armhole. From there, I measured down 4 inches. That's our cap sleeve, 4 inches for my client. And then the length of the sleeve, I'm working with 14 inches. That is shoulder to elbow. Then I added 3 inches to allow for the puffiness, because we are going to fold some inches inwards. So 3 inches for that puffiness, and then 1 inch for the elastic casing, the hemming allowance. So this is what I have here marked. To draw our curve here, please, for a detailed tutorial on how to draft a sleeve, I will link it up to the comment section. Do check it out too. But for now, what I'm just going to do here is, remember the armhole circumference we measured is 17.25 inches. Then divided by 2, I have 8.625, I guess. For that half of it, which is 8.625, I'll make sure that from this point to this point, I will find the point that will give me that 8.625. And I have it here, which I already marked out. I can rule a straight line, or I will just draw the curve. Please go to the tutorial and learn better. So I've just made a curve, and this will be for my back. Then I'll also, because the front side is somewhat inwards, so from here I'll come down and also make a curve. This is on my phone. Please follow the tutorial. This is kind of rough. So this is the back and this is the front curve. What I'm just going to do is, on this side, as you can see, I've already gone inside by 1 inch as my sewing allowance. So from this side, I'm just going to go up by 3 inches, and then I'll connect it to the, this is the side allowance, and I'm just going to add allowance first to the back, following the back shape I have here. Please go to the tutorial. This one is kind of rough, oh my god. And now I'm going to trim out. This is right side to right side now. I'll go ahead and trim out the shape for the front. Please, for the back I gave ½ inch sewing allowance following the back shape. Now I'm also going to trim out the remaining for the back, still giving, sorry, for the front, still giving the ½ inch sewing allowance. This will be the left side and this will be the right side. Go ahead and knot your centers. To start sewing, what we do first is, this is our back side, right side to that of the lining. You place it, pin it down, and then on the neckline you're just going to sew with that ½ inch sewing allowance you gave there. And this is the front. First of all, we are going to sew down. Remember, we had our neckline. So from this point, that point we marked our neck depth, sewing that ½ inch all the way to the hem. When you're done with that, we're also going to turn the neckline. Now this is the right side of this one, so you also match it with the lining. Then we are going to sew on this side. This is how I'm doing this. So I've sewn this place and I'm going to open it up, and then you take your lining down. So I'm going to sew up and then progress. This is it for the back. I'm going to use hemming comb to gum it down so that it will not be showing coming out on the upper side. This is also for the front. When you iron this thing down, it will look very perfect. Do you see? For the front. And this is the back side. I've hemmed the lining. So now I have the back side facing the right side, and we are going to join it on the shoulder, fabric to fabric, lining to lining. Pin it down. You have to make sure that at those meeting points they are meshed here. Take it to your sewing machine and sew it by ½ inch. Do the same thing for this other side. So guys, this is it on one side. As you can see, I'll just trim this side. You can see I just reduced the side a little bit to allow for freedom, and then I tried this on and it was a little bit not easy to pass through the neck. So what I'm going to do is, from that side I'll come down by 1.5 inches the more, and it is here. So I'll now take it to my sewing machine and reinforce the point I have here, reinforce this side so that if I lose this up to this point, it won't lose further. So I'll just reinforce here and then open it up the more. Then the next thing is to join our sleeve. This is our left armhole. Get our left sleeve, match it, that notched point to the shoulder line. We're going to match it. So I could match it down up to this point and match it to this side and take it to my sewing machine and sew it by half-inch sewing allowance. But because I want to have a neat armhole, what I'm going to do is this. You see this lining of the main fabric? I'll put my hand from under, bring it like this. This is not gonna be an easy one, but that's the price you pay for neatness. I will match it up again, pin it down, and then you have to take your time and match it. So I'm going off camera to match it. Take your time and match it down. Okay, I'm done pinning, and on this side I took out the sleeve a little bit, matched the main dress and its lining. So I'm only going to sew the two of them on this point with my lining folded here. I'll sew it with 1/4 inch only. Then on the sleeve side I'm sewing with 1/2 inch all the way to the other side. Then I'll also match the lining and the main dress and sew by 1/4 inch. When you're done with this, you bring it out and do the same for the other sleeve. So we are done with the armhole and you can see it looks neat now. Then the next thing is for our sleeve. We are going to create our elastic casing. I'm going to fold it a little bit and more, making sure that the space I have, this can pass through it conveniently. So I will create this casing from beginning, fold this way, folding down 1 inch hemming allowance. Then I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and sew it round. So the elastic I have here, remember this is a shoulder to elbow and the elbow circumference is 10.5, but I just cut an elastic of 10 inches. When I'm done creating this casing, I'm going to join it on the sides. I will leave that space for the casing that I created. I will join it on the sides down, join these sides too. Then we come and attach our elastic. When I'm done joining on the side, I'm also going to go ahead and hem this dress. Remember, we give 1 inch hemming allowance, so I'm going to fold it again, and I'll hem it all around. So I actually reduced this further by 1 more inch, and we are going to insert it into the casing. I sewed all to this point, but I left it open. So we insert that. I'm going to pin this at this point so that it will be steady. And then I'll continue. Bring my pin out. Then take it to my sewing machine and complete the sewing now. Once you're done with that, if you got it right, this is how it will look like. Just like this one. So if you wear it, you're going to try puff this place inwards. So this is how it forms the puff. That 3 inches extra, it's inwards, and you see the puff is puffed. And now I've also gone ahead to use my hemming gun to glue the inside, and as you can see, I've glued it. And this is now the built up neckline, sitting pretty. Thank you very much for being with us till this very moment, and please go ahead and like, subscribe and share. See you in my next one. If you like this video, please go ahead and share it. Thank you very much. Bye.